Welcome to this channel, and today we will continue our previous video that was on Cloud SDK, and we will discuss in this session. So the Cloud SDK is a set of command line tools that you can download and install onto a computer of your choice, and so it is used to manage resources and application hosted on Google Cloud. The G Cloud, it means CLI manage authentication, local configuration, developers workflow, and interaction with Google Cloud APIs. And GS util, it means it goes util provides command line access to manage cloud storage buckets and objects. And BQ means that it allow you to run queries and manipulate datasets, table and entities in BigQuery through the command line. So we are just talking about the installing the Cloud SDK. To install the Cloud SDK to your desktop, go to cloud.google.com/sdk. Select the operating system for your desktop, and this will be download the SDK for your operating system on your desktop. Then follow the instructions specific to your operating system. This is the configuration the Cloud SDK. After the installation is complete, you will need to configure the Cloud SDK for your Google Cloud environment. Run the gcloud init and command. You will be prompted for information including your login credentials, default projects, and default regions and zone. The agenda, the Cloud Shell allow a user to run the cloud command line without installing the Cloud SDK on a desktop. So in this topic we will learn how to utilize Cloud Shell. So using Cloud Shell you can manage your projects and resources easily without having to install the Cloud SDK or other tools locally. The Cloud SDK command line tools and other utilities are always available, up to date, and fully authenticated. So your Cloud Shell virtual machine is in parallel, and which means that it will be stopped whenever you stop using it interactively, and it will be restarted when you re-enter Cloud Shell. So you get 5 gigabytes of persistent disk storage that is reattached for you every time a new Cloud Shell session is started. And the Cloud Shell provides web preview functionality and built-in authorizations for access to Cloud Console projects and resources. So to start Cloud Shell, click on the Activate Cloud Shell icon in the upper right side of the screen. The Cloud Shell terminals will appear on the lower portion of the window. So option including launching the Cloud Shell code editor and operating Cloud Shell in a new page, so can be performed using the toolbar on the upper right corner of the Cloud Shell. The Cloud Shell code editor is a tool for editing files inside your Cloud Shell environment in a real time within the web browser. This tool too extremely convenient when working with code first application or container based workloads, because you can edit files easily without the need to download and upload changes. You can also use text editors from the Cloud Shell command prompt. You will now get the chance to complete your first hand on the lab on the course. For our first lab, you will take your first step with Google Cloud by getting hands-on practice with the Cloud Console, the in-browser UI that lets you access and manage Google Cloud services. You will identify key features of Google Cloud and also learn the INS and ins and outs of the Quick Labs environment. So by completing this lab, you will learn how to identify the key features of Quick Labs and how to access the Cloud Console. In the second lab, you will learn a series of gcloud commands with Cloud Shell. In this hands-on lab, you will learn how to connect to computing resources hosted on Google Cloud via Cloud Shell with the gcloud command line. After the lab is completed, you should have a better understanding of how to use gcloud commands and how to connect to storage services hosted on Google Cloud. Everything we do in Google Cloud is done with APIs. In this topic, we will introduce APIs and discuss how they are used. So let's be precise about what an application programming interface or API. So it is a software services implementation can be complex and changeable. So if other software services had to be explicitly coded at that level of detail in order to use that services, the result would be brittle and error phones. So instead application developer structures the software they write so that it present a clean, so well defined interface that abstract always need less details, and then they document that interface. So that's an application programming interface. The underlying implementation can change as long as the interface doesn't, and other pieces of software that use the API do not have to know or care. These APIs are what called RESTful. In other words, they follow the representation state transfer paradigm. So in a broad case sense, that means that your code can use Google services in much way that web browser talk to web servers. The APIs identify resources in Google Cloud with URLs. Your code can pass information to APIs using JSON, so which is a very popular way of passing textual information over the web. And there's an operating open system, or it can be your O authenticate 2 for user login and access control. So Google Cloud APIs also assist in helping you to control your spend, with most including daily quotas and limits. So where needed, quotas and rates can be raised by request. So in addition to the Cloud SDK, you will also use client libraries that enable you to easily create and manage resources. Google Cloud Client libraries expose APIs for two main purposes. First is App API provide access to services, and they are optimized for supported languages such as Node.js and Python. And other is Admin APIs offer functionality for resource management. For example, you can use admin APIs if you want to build your own automated tools. So we discuss the different application manage services options in more detail later in this course. So the Cloud Console includes a tool called the APIs Explore that helps you will learn about the APIs interactively. It lets you see what APIs are available and in what versions. So these APIs expect parameters and documentation on them is built in. You can try the API interactively even with users authentication. So suppose you have explored on API and you are ready to build an application that uses it. So do you have to start coding from scratch? No, Google provides client libraries to take a lot of drag out of the task of calling Google Cloud from your code. So in this example, the compute instance list method from the compute engine APIs will be tested. Item listed in the red are required inputs. When the method is run, you will have to log in using O Authenticate 2.0, since REST API is an HTTP based. So if the method runs correctly, you will receive a 200 messages and the appropriate data will be displayed. So if the project or the zone were entered incorrectly, you will get a 400 errors and no data will be displayed. The Cloud Console mobile app provides another way for you to manage services running on Google Cloud directly from your mobile devices. It's convenient resources and doesn't cost anything extra. The Cloud Console mobile app is available for iOS and Android and offer many capabilities. So it allows you to stay connected to the cloud and check billing status and critical issues. To see the health of your services at a glance, you can create your own custom dashboard showing key metrics such as CPU usage, network usage, request per second, services errors, and more. So you can take action to address issues directly from your device, such as rolling back to a bad release, stopping or restarting virtual machines. So searching logs or even connecting to a virtual machines via SSH. So the monitoring functionality allow you to view and respond to incidents, error and logging. So if you need to, you can even access Cloud Shell to perform any G Cloud operations. For our final topic of the module, let's test what we learn. What a quick quiz. True or false, all Google Cloud resources must be associated with a project. Guess the answer. The answer is true. Associating all resources with a project helps the billing and isolations. And which of the following is a command line tool that is a part of the Cloud SDK? And guess the answer. The C is the correct answer. The GS util command line tools is used to work with the cloud as storage. So what command would you use to set up the default configuration of the Cloud SDK? The cloud gcloud init command is used to set up the users, the default projects and default region and zone of the Cloud SDK. So that concludes the start with the solid platform module. So let me remind you of what you learn. So at the start of the module, we learn how the Cloud Console provides a web-based GUI to assist in managing Google Cloud projects and resources. Next, we learn how all Google Cloud resources must be associated with the project, and also how we can set up billing accounts at the project level. Quotas also help prevent billing surprises by putting a cap on resources. So we then learn how to leverage the Cloud SDK as a way to interface with Google Cloud products and services. And we also discussed Cloud Shell as an alternative to installing the Cloud SDK on our desktop. And we also discussed how to use Google Cloud services via API in the code, and how to test the API using API Explorer. We finished up the module by discussing the Cloud Console mobile app, which allow the user to manage services on cloud and cloud from a mobile device. So that's all guys, this is my video. If you like this, you can share and you can take some actions and comments. So thanks for watching.